The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
This is Darren Beasley. We're at Capital Ford here in Regina, and we're here for a really exciting project regarding the Stars Pegasus and the fundraising that's going on. We've got a custom 1968 Ford Mustang. Bob Friedrich isn't here this week, but he's kindly asked me if I want to fill in, and I don't know if I can fill in Bob's shoes, but I'll try my best. It's a 427 with a 5-speed, and what's really exciting is we've got a good group of donors, Ford Dealers of Saskatchewan, Connexus Credit Union, Myers Norris Penny, Lakeland Law, and the idea is that we're going to contribute money and do a fundraiser so that we can help Stars and their air ambulance and all of the people across Saskatchewan and everything that they do for us, which has been a real blessing. We've got Tammy Borgart here, who's the relations.
Yeah, donor relations development officer.
And development officer. And Tammy does a fantastic job of helping everybody out and really understanding the message, which I'll throw back to you, Tammy, please.
Oh, thanks, Darren. Yeah, we're just so happy to be here today, so thank you very much, Capital Ford, you guys here at Connexus, all of our sponsors. Today is just a great day to be out here. Like you said, we're doing this Pegasus Project touring, this great 1968 Shelby around the province. And the money, yes, is going to our fleet project. So we are embarking on a $138 million.
Or was that all? We better work really hard, Tammy, to get some money today, yes.
Well, the good news is this. We have 9 helicopters that we need to replace in our 3 provinces. And each helicopter costs $13 million. We have $7 million, just over $7 million
awesome.
To raise now. So with this project, us touring around and other initiatives and events that are happening, we're hoping to get to that by the end of the year, so thank you for your guys' support for that.
What's exciting about this is the car actually is touring Saskatchewan, seeing all the local Ford dealers through the summer. It's going to be at the SEMA convention show in November in Las Vegas. It's going to be a highlighted display with Ford Motor Company. Then it's going to be auctioned off at the Barrett-Jackson auction in January of 2022, with the proceeds going towards Stars. And if you look at the car, it is unbelievably done well. It's just it's a fantastic car. I mean, I'm a Mustang fan, and even I am in awe of the work that's been done. So the lucky owner of this car, hopefully they share it. It's an unbelievably custom car, but done with some unique touches that are very, very historical to Ford, but yet it's got a modern look to it, and really, really impressive piece. And Stars themselves is, I have had some experience with some friends and some family that have needed their services, and sadly you need them at your toughest times in your life, but it's great that they're there. So thank you very much, Tammy. We're coming to you from Capital Ford at the Stars fundraising event, and I've got a good friend and his dear wife and a car I absolutely just love. It's a 2003 Ford Thunderbird. They call it the James Bond edition after a movie that Halle Berry had famously drove at the Ice Hotel. Alan, tell us a little bit about the car.
Well, the car, again, is an 03 James Bond edition T-Bird, Retro Bird, and we purchased it basically when Darlene turned 65 years old. We bought it for her birthday.
Ooh, Alan! So that was just like that was just yesterday.
Yeah, so it's got a 3.9 V8 engine. I believe at the time Ford owned a portion of Jaguar. Lots of people say it's a Jag engine, which I believe. And it's one of 700 made. And again, it was Ford made 700 of these to commemorate the movie Die Another Day with Halle Berry, who wore a coral bikini in that movie. And so in '03, Ford made 700 of these James Bond editions with the color coral to commemorate that movie.
And what number of the 700 is yours?
And this is number 628
Yeah.
of
Oh,
700.
so fairly late in production then,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a Canadian car.
And this car was sold in Canada. And the distinction between a car sold in Canada or sold in the States, this one has where the running lights at the bottom, they're blocked off because apparently at that year, Canada was not allowing the running lights, whereas the Ford sold vehicles, they all had their running lights installed. So this car was sold in Canada, and we purchased it out of a person from Ontario. We're the second owners.
Sight unseen, we only saw pictures.
Yeah, it's
And any surprises when you took
no
delivery?
surprise.
No
Oh.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful car, and I love the color. Absolutely fantastic. And a little bit of trivia, from what I understood in 2003, this was the only model that did not have a black interior of all of the colors that were offered. All of them had a combination of black and something.
White.
This
Yes.
is the only one that had a true white interior.
Yes, that's what's unique to the 007s is the white leather seats, the 007 T-Bird Signia, and also I'll point out there is the tag, which is 628 of 700 production models.
And all of that pedigree is important when you're collecting a car, just to verify the authenticity of it. And you want to make sure that you're purchasing actually what you think you are, because unfortunately, sometimes vehicles can be cloned. So
True enough.
this car definitely is authentic. Very nice. Thank you for bringing it out.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
We're here for the STARS fundraising event, and a good dear friend of mine has brought two fantastic Ford vehicles. Every Ford vehicle is fantastic, but these two especially. So we have a 1994 F-150 and a 1970 Mustang that Doug has brought out today. Doug, I know you and I know this car quite well. I helped you find it about 6 years ago. Real brief, can you give us a bit of a description on the car?
Well, we found the car in Codet, just south of Nipawin. Actually, Darren found the car. And we brought it home and drove for a couple of months, and then we tore it apart. We completely stripped the car, the engine bay, the interior, everything was gutted. And we started over again.
So really unique color, Doug. It's called Calypso Coral. What else do you have on your car? Because I mean, this thing is loaded up extremely well.
Well, it has a 351 engine in it with a shaker hood. It has the louvers on the back and a rear spoiler, and also a front spoiler. And
Deluxe interior, magnums. I mean, this car, unbelievable. And you've just finished a fresh restoration.
yes, correct.
This is so fresh, the paint is almost still wet, right?
You can still smell it.
And tell us a little bit about your truck. I know you bought this brand new, and in fact, at the predecessor to Capital would have been Percival.
Correct.
Where this truck came from.
The Percival emblem is still on the back of the
Still
truck.
on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, I ordered this truck. This is the color I ordered.
Do you know the name of the color?
Yes, it's Tobago Green and Oxford White.
Is that right? Tobago green. I've never heard of that before. Very nice.
Yes.
And idea on the mileage, roughly?
There's 107,000 K on the car.
Wow.
On the truck.
Wow. Original paint,
Original paint.
original
Yes.
interior, and all the chrome.
The-
Unbelievably
The
nice shape.
entire truck is original.
Wow. Is that ever nice? Absolutely. And you know, there was a time where trucks were trucks and they were used for, you know, I'll say work purposes, etc. And today, most people are using their trucks like cars.
They are.
It's their family vehicle.
Yes.
And there has been just an explosion in these F-Series and in the GM trucks of this era as well for, you know, collector type vehicles, car shows, taking them out. Beautiful, beautiful truck. You just
Well,
do not find them
I
or
think-
see them in this condition.
I think people are going to trucks because the cars are too small.
Agreed.
For their families.
And they maybe look a little the same, whereas the truck has got some, like a Ford truck looks like a Ford, a Dodge looks like a Dodge.
Yes,
You know, the GM truck,
yes.
there's still those characteristics. I think, you know, a lot of the cars today have sort of a, you know, a blended look where it's maybe not the distinguishing, you know, character lines, etc. they had many years ago. I mean, even your Mustang here, you look at a Mustang, it looked like a Mustang. You look at Camaro or a Firebird from this era,
Yes.
they looked, like those cars.
They're very distinctive.
Today, again, through safety or through a lot of the other reasons, marketing, etc., a lot of the cars kind of blend and look the same, but there's a character that these old cars have, the new ones can't match. And your truck, I would say the same thing. That's just a beautiful truck. So thank you very much for Doug for bringing them out. Now I'm with Randy Lear, a good friend of mine and a fantastic car, a 1973 Ford Torino that I love, much like Doug's car earlier. I played a part in finding this one for him as well. I had to convince Randy to go back in time when he was a young boy, which he'll tell us all about, and he had a near twin. So go ahead, Randy, tell us all about this car.
Sure, thank you, Darren. Initially, when we seeked out this car in Alberta in 2018, a retired grain handler had it stored in a barn down by the river, and found the car on Kijiji. As Darren said, he had to convince me to buy it. It took a couple months. So we acquired it at the end of March 2018, and then began a major overhaul with Darren's leadership to rebuild first of all, the interior of the car is all brand new. Kit with new headliner, new car seats, new dash pad, new windshield. The vinyl top was redone in 2019 by Car Tops here in Regina. Motor was just updated with a rebuild of the 4-barrel carburetor. It's a 351 Cleveland Cobra Jet.
Which is a pretty rare combination based on our numbers.
Right.
I noticed you have a Marty report on there. Any idea on total exactly? So that combination, I mean, they only made, looks like here, about 8,600 cars of the 300,000 plus Torinos have that engine. That's quite a rare combination, Randy.
Yeah, fairly rare. The car was an actual custom order by a local farmer at Richmond, Saskatchewan. I don't know his name, but he bought the car from Portage La Prairie, Brown Motors at the time in '73. He ordered it with the Rally custom gauges, the C6 heavier transmission, the 351 Cobra Jet motor, 9-inch rear end, and then the 325 gear ratio in the rear end. And the car really drives nice. It's really impressive on the highway for power, but also I've noticed lately, and just as of last weekend to Watrous and back, fuel mileage was 16.8 miles to the gallon, and running the car between 75 and 80 miles.
A Tesla or a Prius has nothing on this car.
No.
That's fantastic.
Right. And like I said, I really enjoy this car. My wife and I, Brenda, who own it together, take it out at night a lot. It's a daily driver, as Darren will tell you. I'm out a lot. Since I've acquired the car, I've driven it just a little over 10,000 miles.
Fantastic.
And it's super fun. I just love the color. The pop in ocean blue reminds me of being out near the ocean.
Oh, and, yeah, the colors. Yeah. And that stripe, what's it called, Randy?
It's a laser stripe, and at night this kind of shines as the sun is going down. It gives a reflection at night off the lights, which is really offsets all the blue in the car. And again, I got to credit my good buddy Darren here for coaching me to put on the stripe. I wasn't a total believer, but actually it's gorgeous.
Once it's on there, it absolutely makes the car, and the Magnum 500 wheels. Yes. Oh, Randy.
Right, that was an addition as well. So another club member sold me the Magnum 500s and tires, and bumpers were just re-chromed over this past winter out of Alberta Plating in Calgary. Both front and back bumpers were redone, and originally this car was painted in 1982 and sat in a CP rail box for 8 years before it was sold from the original owner in Richmond. So quite impressive. I love the car, and
Good for you.
glad
I love
acquired
it too.
because it reminds me of the one I did own one of these when I got married in 1977. Had exactly the same car, but it had the Windsor engine 351, and I gotta say the 351 Cleveland is a much better motor. So, but yeah, just continue to update it, do little improvements here and there in the engine bay now we're doing so, and yeah, it's been fun, and it's fun being a member of the SAS Ford and Mercury Club as well. I don't know if there's anything else I can really tell you. I've driven
Other than
it
it's
lots
the
and-
third child you never had, right?
That's right.
Yes, I know
Never
you
got
love
my
it that
boy,
much.
Darren, but I have two lovely daughters at home and 3 lovely grandchildren.
Oh,
no, this is
absolutely.
a special car, I think.
Good
and
stuff. Good stuff.
I love it.
We're with Tony Palazzo, and Tony has brought a fantastic 1977 Chevrolet Monte Carlo that's got a really unique history. And when Tony's behind the wheel, he's a young man all over again. Tony, with that as a setup, I'm going to throw it to you. Tell us a little bit about your car. Tell us a little bit about the history and the paint especially, because I know you're a paint professional, and there's nothing you don't already know about it.
Hi there. It's a 77 Monte Carlo. My dad bought it brand new in 1977 at Midwest Motors on Albert Street. He has passed on since in 1991, and I took over it. I've had it for the last 30 years. It's, as you see, it's all original, never really been touched besides me changing the tires. It's a Survivor. It's Ontario orange with the rally rims.
Oh, great color. Love that.
My dad, I wish he would have got factory air, but he never believed in that, or power locks. It's a driver, it's a Survivor. It's my dad's legacy, and I keep it nice and clean and polished. And being a paint guy, got to keep it clean and show the guys in the car clubs and, show it off and go look at other cars. My passion.
Interior is?
It's a beige interior, no buckets console, but has power locks, power locks and power brakes. That's about it.
And what would the original mileage be?
36,000 miles original.
Wow, unbelievable. And it was at a local dealer here they purchased it?
Midwest Motors on Albert Street.
Sure, absolutely. And what was the mileage when you got it from your
20,000 miles.
Wow.
So I've drove 16,000 miles in the last 30 years.
30 years, yeah,
I'm driving down
absolutely.
up and down Albert Street
Yeah.
and whatever else.
Oh, as I've mentioned to you before, I've never seen this color combination on a Monte Carlo. Typically, it's been on a Corvette is where I've seen Ontario orange, but this looks so striking on this car. It just really accentuates the body lines. That's a beautiful, beautiful car.
Thank you.
They made a hell of a good NASCAR race car just because of where the engine setback was. Very successful, and on the street, that is just a beautiful car. And again, anybody who knows me, I'm a Ford guy, but I'll tell you what, they made a lot of great other cars, and Monte Carlo, oh, definitely in that category. Beautiful car. Thank you, Tony, for bringing it out. All right, we're with Daniel, and what has got to be, in my mind, one of the coolest Fords ever made is the Ford GT. This car is, I mean, it's unbelievable with the technology, unbelievable with the speed and the precision. This was made to celebrate Ford's return to Le Mans that they had won in 1966 and 67 and 68 and 69. And it's just an unbelievable car. Dan, go ahead and tell us a little bit about it, please.
Yeah, so this particular one, it's a 2017 Ford GT. It's basically a race car in street clothing, if you will. It's built by Multimatic in Ontario, Canada. Actually, they're all built right here in Canada. And they build race cars. They build the Le Mans cars. That's what they do. It's got a few things here for the street, but it really is a race car in street clothing, if you will.
And what type of engine, Dan?
This one, it's got a 3.5 liter EcoBoost, so it's a twin turbo V6 engine.
So the same engine that's in my Expedition is in this car, is what you're telling me.
Same, the same bones, a little tuned up a little bit more.
So I'm driving a Ford GT every day. I'm driving my truck. Oh boy, oh boy.
You can tell yourself that.
Yeah, that's what I am telling myself. Now it's a two-seater, right? Because I can't fit anybody back there. Do you mind opening the door for us?
Absolutely, for sure.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Boy,
so
oh boy.
The seats are fixed. You can't move the seats. The pedals and the steering wheel are what adjust to you. They come forward to the driver. So
that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now you can tell us, there's only a little bit of tape and a little bit of viewers. Have you ever driven the car?
Just on the parking lot. I haven't had the pleasure of taking it out on the street, unfortunately.
So no 200 mile an hour down the Mulsanne Straight or anything?
No, not quite.
No, I understand. So there is some requirements where this car does need to be exercised or driven on an annual basis. Is that true?
There was some wording, if you will.
Yes.
I'm not sure how legitimate it was when they were first delivered. It was a really low production car, and they did want people driving them and out in the public
Right.
and showing them to try and deter the collectors, where they just tuck them away
Sure,
and they're never seen in the public. So
Any idea what the mileage is on this one now?
it's not very much. This one's got 70 kilometers on it. right now.
70. Oh my, oh my. She's a high miler. Whoa.
It's got some on there, but not a lot.
Well, I could probably make a deal on one of my Mustangs. They wouldn't have to pay me very much difference to take this car at 70 miles. Yikes, or 70 kilometers on it. As far as the mechanicals go, is there much in the way of special training that your techs would need to service this car?
So you've got to be, any warranty work that needs to be done, you've got to be a GT servicing dealership.
Okay, okay.
Don't believe we are currently right
Okay.
now, but any warranty's got to be done by a GT certified dealership. Retail things like that, not so much, but any warranty stuff, does need to be done
Any
by a
idea on how
certified.
many were sold in Canada?
I'm not sure an exact number.
Yep.
When this one was first delivered in 2017, there was only 2 delivered to dealers. So us at Capital Ford here,
Yes.
and I believe Barrie Ford in Ontario was the other one that were the first
Fantastic.
2 dealers. So
I remember I was here in 2017 when this car got delivered,
Yep.
and it made a quite a statement,
Yep.
and it was quite an experience hearing the thing run,
Yep.
and seeing Bruce and Cam kind of go over the car with the delivery tech that came from Multimatic. And Multimatic as a company is an unbelievably sophisticated technology. It is a Canadian company, world renowned for their technology in all brands of racing, whether it's GM or Ford. They've done a lot of work with Ferrari, and some of their technology is just amazing. What an absolutely awesome car. And we're with Mike Kyle and a 1969 Ford Cobra. And yes, that's exactly what I said, Ford Cobra. You're going, huh? That doesn't look like a Ford Cobra. Mike is going to tell us all about it. This car came from the snowy, far, far Great White North in Whitehorse, Yukon in just a couple of years ago. Mike, tell us all about your awesome car.
Yeah. Well, 1969, if you went into Ford to buy a muscle car, Mustang was maybe out of the reach of most people with a 428 Cobra Jet. You could go down the street and buy a Chrysler for a lot cheaper, a Super B. So Ford came out, they took a Fairlane 500 body, debadged it, stuffed the biggest, baddest motor they had in it, and called it the Ford Cobra. It's got 3 Cobra badges on it, no Fairlane decals. It got a blacked out grille, hood pins, 428 Ram Air 4-speed car, and they only made 3,700 of this model in a coupe, and they made 11,000 fastbacks. So I was lucky this car came out of a collection, and it was 53,000 miles on it. I redid the motor and detailed it a little bit, and basically what we have here today.
Really unique color, Mike. Tell us, what is it?
It's black jade.
Oh, love it.
Dark color, very standard interior. The only options on this car, it's got power disc brakes, tinted glass, and an AM radio.
And as far as the color itself, is that a unique color for the car? 1 year only? Did they make it a lot of
I
years?
think it was just for 69, Darren. They made
69.
they offered this color,
that
black
is
jade.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So it's a lot of fun.
So this car competes against a Roadrunner, competes against a Super B.
It beat those guys.
It beat those guys. Well, of course it did. It's a Ford.
That's right.
First on race day. Absolutely.
That's what the Cobra Jet was all about, is performance car.
So really unique that they called it a Ford Cobra, but they didn't call it a Torino Cobra.
Not until 1970 they came out with a special model, and they changed the name to Torino Cobra.
So a lot of people wouldn't know that. They would call it a Torino Cobra or a Fairlane Cobra, but they wouldn't know that it's just a Ford Cobra.
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
That's really unique.
On the Marley report is actually just referred to as a Ford Cobra.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Any idea where the car was sold new?
Down in the States someplace.
Down there?
Yep. Yeah, it came
down
out
in
from
Virginia.
the USA. Virginia, it came out from the USA.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So, yeah, she's rust-free and pretty straight, and I don't drive it much, but just the odd car show.
So it burns a little gas, does it?
Only when your foot's in it.
Oh, that never happens at all.
Hardly ever.
No, as a retired policeman, you always obey the speed limits, right?
I go slower.
You go slower just to prove to the other people it can be done. Awesome. Thanks very much, Mike, for bringing it out.
Thank you, Darren.
Hi, we're here with Robert, and probably I'm going to say one of the most unique vehicles, not only have I ever seen, but certainly in Regina. It's a 1958 Vauxhall. And Vauxhall was kind of neat because in Opel was what they went by in Europe, and Vauxhall is the name that they went by in Britain. It was owned by General Motors. I'm going to throw it to you. This is one of the times where I know nothing about what I'm looking at, so please tell us all about it.
1958 Vauxhall that I bought when I was 19 years old in England.
So just recently then?
Just
what you said.
had it a
Yeah.
long time. It was stock when I got it. Went through it as a kid, kind of rebuilt it, made it into a bit of a high rider gasser.
That is unbelievable.
Did all that, and because then in '82 I moved to Canada, left the car in England, and about 6 years after that, when I was established here, I bought the car across.
Awesome.
On the boat, and put her in the garage, and took me another 12 years to strip it back down and rebuild it back up again.
Sure.
So this is it. I've had it on the road now since 2003. So it's getting a bit long in the tooth now, but...
so tell us a little, so engine-wise, what would have it been originally and what is it now?
It was a straight 6 2.2 original Vauxhall engine. This is a 350 Chevy, 4-barrel with nitrous. It's running a turbo 400 transmission, switch pitch. Everything's custom made. Basically 90% of it I did myself.
It would have to be for a car like this.
Yeah, because it's right-hand drive, so that presented a few problems.
So do you feel at home when you're driving on the right hand?
Yeah.
When you're driving on the wrong side of the road?
Yeah, it's not. I'm not on the wrong side of the road. You guys are. But it originally was a 4-door.
Oh,
Vauxhall
I didn't know that.
Vauxhall never made a 2-door.
Oh.
So you know, in Canada or the States, if you don't have a 2-door,
it's not. I didn't know that.
Jaguar axle.
Wow.
Yeah, flip front all steel.
And how does it drive being so high up? Is it
It drives actually really good, you know.
Okay.
I've kind of played around with it, fine-tuned it over the years, you know. It's kind of an ongoing thing, and I've actually got it well sorted this year, actually. It handles really well. It goes better than you would think, actually.
And a custom-made frame, I can see?
Yeah, I made all the chassis made, all the fabrication.
So what do you do that your workmanship is fantastic.
I'm a mechanic.
Okay, well, that gets you there. That gets you partly there.
No, so, you know, and I've been kind of into cars forever. So,
I guarantee you, everywhere you go, this is one of a kind.
Yeah, well, it's different. I think people definitely like to see something different, you know, like something that they haven't seen. So it gets a lot of interest everywhere I go, you know. So,
well, and the flip front end has got that 70s street machine feel to it.
Yeah.
And the raised front and back, you know, kind of got that gasser look.
Yeah, that's what it was always supposed to be, the gasser style. So
I am super impressed. And your workmanship, like that aluminum and all the welding and everything on there, that's fantastic.
It was 12 years.
So you weren't watching a lot of TV and you weren't doing all that stuff that all of us other ones do?
I spent a lot of time in the garage.
You know?
I don't know whether my wife liked that or she kind of pushed me out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, she was actually pretty probably, if anything like mine, she's happy about that.
Yeah,
hey, can't you buy another car? Is there somewhere else you can be other than at home?
Yeah.
I understand why.